Man has hunted since the beginning of time. What began with crude weapons and animal images scrawled on cave walls has developed into a multi-million-dollar industry. From the Tilton Hiltons to the mansions in the marsh, we hunt and we cook. Everything from rabbits and raccoons to deer and ducks, while learning about the passion of sportsmen through the ages. Man's love affair with hunting is really not about the kill, but how to prepare a sumptuous wild game banquet after the hunt. Now get that camouflage apron and join me, Chef John Folse, for another Taste of Louisiana.
Funding for After the Hunt with Chef John Folse is brought to you by the Baton Rouge Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. Day is dawning on the Mississippi River and the sun is shining on Baton Rouge. Attractions, shopping, food, and Southern hospitality you know and love. Go BR and go brighter. And the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting. Our mission is to tell Louisiana's story to the world. And by the Louisiana Department of Culture, Recreation, and Tourism. Vacation planning guides are available at louisianatravel.com. You wait all year for your vacation. Don't sleep through it.
Oh, when the sun refuses to shine.
Right.
Come on, everybody.
There we go. How you doing there, Mr. Pitre? Doing all right? All right, how y'all doing, everybody? Huh? All right, thank y'all. Thank you so much. Y'all, you see this coat I have? This is called nuisance fur. Don't get excited. Don't y'all get excited and say that, I'm skinning an animal. This is nuisance. And I'm going to tell y'all all about that because this is Nutria fur, and I want to give it to you. You ready? Here, baby. There's yours right there. You have that, okay? Hey, everybody, thanks so much. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me, y'all, in Sportsman's Paradise for another edition of A Taste of Louisiana. I'm delighted to have all of you here in the studio with us, as well as all of our viewers across the United States and wherever they're from. It's so nice to have you. I'd like to introduce, I'm going to call her my kitchen musician. She's actually my kitchen band. She's a one-woman show, and she's singing for our supper today. Oh yeah, we're gonna feed her, and that's Judy Whitney-Davis, y'all. Hey, all right. Judy, it's always great to have you right here in the kitchen with us. It's wonderful. What a voice she has. Many of you already know that I'm a native son of Louisiana and that my father was a trapper. He knew the swamps front and back, just like his hands, and trapped for everything in that swamp, mink, otter, raccoon, anything with fur on it he was after. In the old days, Louisiana trappers didn't celebrate a traditional Christmas in winter because that was the highlight of the trapping season. They were out in the trappers' camps at that time. In fact, Christmas for the trapper in many cases was February the 25th. That was the end of the trapping season and they could come out. Louisiana was colonized based on the fur industry and is still home to a profitable business for both trappers and wholesalers. Louisiana trappers have dedicated their lives to habitat and wildlife management and operate a responsible, well-regulated industry. And y'all, I want you to take a look at that industry right now. My daddy was a trapper, as shown on my birth certificate. He knew the swamps like the back of his hands. Our back porch, not unlike this rural cabin, was always covered with an assortment of pelts and skins. Trapping fur-bearing animals is and always has been a traditional Louisiana occupation. Every December, trappers and their families gathered their belongings and boated into the forest reaches of the marsh. There they would live, hunt, fish, and trap until spring.
The season would open December the 1st, and we go about 15 days before to clean up the place and brought the pig, the chicken, and everything. We're homesteading for about 4 months.
To a great extent, Europe's needs for fur-lined and fur-trimmed fashions helped colonize the New World. Fur hunting became a major North American industry. In fact, French rangers known as Côte d'Ivoire tirelessly hunted the Canadian forests and ultimately Louisiana's woodlands and marsh. The Hudson Bay Company, incorporated in 1670, monopolized the fur trade throughout much of North America until the mid-19th century. It was Louisiana's promise of skins and pelts that encouraged French exploration and colonization. Iberville's plan was for raw furs to be collected in the north, shipped south via the Mississippi to New Orleans, then on to markets worldwide. Once Iberville's plan was in motion, a fort was built at the confluence of the Mississippi and Missouri rivers, and St. Louis, the fur capital of North America, was born. New Orleans' early Jewish community had an interest in Louisiana furs and pelt trade. Merchants with names like Toureau, Connoisseur received goods, owned ships, and exported Louisiana hides and pelts. In 1826, Jewish fur merchants purchased more than 10,000 pounds of pelts. Traditionally, many Cajun and other French-speaking Louisianians eked out a living from the natural resources. Their survival was defined by fishing lines, guns, and gardens. The swamp provided everything they made, sold, and ate. Seasonally, these people were hunters and trappers, fishermen, moss pickers, and lumbermen. A variety of traps were set in the marsh and along the riverbanks to collect fur animals such as muskrat, otter, mink, raccoon, skunk, fox, bobcat, and beaver. Once harvested, the skins were turned inside out and stretched on long boards. They were tacked in place, then all the flesh was scraped away. The pelts dried for about 3 days and were then sold to fur buyers. Trappers often traded skin and fur for vegetables and other equipment. Today, fur buyers such as Tab Pitre of Galliana collects a variety of furs throughout the season. The market determines the value of the pelts, which are graded for quality and thickness.
A good season, we usually produce about 50 to 100,000 pelts. In a bad season, you might just do it just to have furs on hand. You might do like 20.
Approximately 600 pelts are packed into 250 to 300 pound bales for shipment to international markets. Winter was prime time for trapping and hunting. Once the New York markets realized the quality and value of Louisiana muskrat fur, the annual take jumped dramatically. The largest trapping season for muskrat in 1945 saw the harvest of nearly 9 million pelts valued at $12 million. Mink was also a favorite fur, hitting a high of $15 a pelt during the 1945 season. Today, because of overpopulation and its destructive behavior, the nutria has a $5 bounty on its tail, making its capture a lucrative enterprise.
They get $5 a tail, and then when I come around, if I give them $2, that's $7 of nutria that they're making. They usually catch about 70 to 100 nutrias. So they're making pretty good money.
Louisiana's coastal marshes stretch from the Pearl River on the eastern border to the Sabine River on the west and extend inland from the Gulf of Mexico about 75 miles. These 4.2 million acres produce the majority of Louisiana's fur resources, but many are worried about Louisiana's coastal erosion, which not only affects their business, but their way of life.
The storm washed it away, period. It's water where it was high land in 61. It's 40 years. It diminished so much, it's unbelievable.
With proper management and good habitat, Louisiana will continue to be the #1 fur-producing state in this country. All right. Hey, thank y'all so much. Thank you. Boy, I tell you what a great opening looking at the trapping of Louisiana. You know, living in a swamp cabin myself, growing up in a place where I took my boat to school as well, you can only imagine what those scenes look like when you see the whole family loading up pigs and cows and everything else to go live in the woods away from the family, your extended family. It was really but it was a great upbringing as well, and I'm so proud to have been born in the swamps of Louisiana to be able to share that story. You're lucky too today because I'm cooking your favorite food, raccoon and nutria. What's the problem? Huh? Oh, you love raccoon. I see you love raccoon. Good, huh? Well, look, I have on the set right here, I can only, sitting at this kitchen counter 4 raconteurs, the great storytellers of Louisiana. And I have to begin by welcoming, y'all need to give this guy a hand, Lee Roy Sevin, one of the great trappers. All right. There you go. Take that hat off. Now, Leroy, when did you start trapping in Louisiana?
About born 1928, about 1935. I followed my aunt in the marsh.
6 years old, he was in the marsh with his aunt. His aunt, huh?
She showed me how to trap. My
how many of you can say your aunt took you in the swamp trapping? How many, huh? None, that's who.
That's it.
So she was kind of the head of the household and went out into the swamp and took you with her.
I mean, my mom was head of the household, but my aunt was staying with us, and she'd trap around the camp, and I'd follow her.
Now, I understood that you trapped otters, live otters, for so many years. And I said, live? Well, normally when you trap with these huge things, you would kill an animal, but that wasn't your goal.
No, it wasn't my goal. I used a small trap.
Yeah?
That right there, they recommend this for otter, but that's too big.
Yeah?
You catch them about 1 or 2 toes with this here.
Right.
And you got to know where you set your trap out.
Right.
To keep them swivel around. Don't sell them next to a bush because they tangle in there and they cut their toes
But
off.
you were trying to protect from breaking the legs so that you could take them and then relocate the otter. That was your
role. They'd come get them at my house when I'd have the limit they wanted.
Right.
100, 150, 200.
And where would they send them?
Send them to Missouri.
An otter on vacation from Louisiana,
Yeah,
Missouri.
that's it, yeah. But Kentucky.
It kind of reminds me of our trip to the airport. You know, you got to suffer through all the regulations at the airport. A little trap to get to Missouri wasn't too bad to get out of Louisiana.
No, it wasn't too bad.
Now, did any of them ever make it back home?
Nope, too far.
Too far,
yeah.
Or maybe they just like the living conditions.
Yeah, that's it. It's cold over there for them. It's colder.
Oh, it was cold. They like that big fur.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Now, I showed that fur coat a minute ago because that was supposedly a nuisance. Because y'all saw the picture of the Nutria. Yeah. You're lucky I'm cooking it for y'all today. Oh yeah, you're gonna love it. Okay, guys, look. Let me tell you what I'm doing here. This is raccoon. I know you're familiar with it. I know you have it in your own refrigerator, but this is, oh yeah, and you have to trim it well because the fat on the coon, as you already know, I feel so embarrassed telling you what you already know about coon, but to have the fat, you have to remove it off of the meat, otherwise it has a gamey taste to it. You see what it looks like right there? It's just really beautiful. And what I've done, I've taken it and put it into my little cast iron stock pot, along with what we like to refer to as kind of a mirepoix, onions and celery and all of that, because we're going to, well, you know, coon is kind of tough, right? What are you laughing about? Coon's a little tough, huh? You tell me where you get tender coon from, huh? I'm coming home with you, baby, huh?
You can't get coon every day now.
You can't get a tender coon every day, girl. So anyway, I'm going to bring this.
Meal. You're lucky if you can get some.
I'm going to bring this to a boil, and I'm going to let it get really nice and tender. Because take a look at this. This is coon meat. Oh, look, it's nice and dark red. Huh? Isn't that beautiful? Kind of like bear or otter. Y'all. Well, anyway, it's all deboned, full of flavor, really nice. Now look here, I have a dark brown Cajun roux. You see that? Dark brown Cajun roux for our people out there, way out there in television land, is equal parts. I want y'all to take a look at this. Equal parts of oil and flour, cooked to different degrees of darkness. And of course, depending on how dark it is, gives the right color of the dish. It will always give the dark brown roux a nice a nutty flavor like roasted pecans, and of course it's a thickening agent, so you want to make sure you have good roux in all of your dishes. So now into this, I'm just making a really nice, just a nice stewed raccoon. I like to have this on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. I mean, you've had it on, when friends are coming. When friends are coming, you know, it's nice to say, hey, look, onion, celery, bell pepper, garlic. You have it right there. Now, this is a sauce piquante here. This nice, the sauce piquante, a nice spicy sauce of Louisiana. I'm going to put some tomatoes in it, and of course, I like to use rotel. You could use tomatoes and throw some of the habaneros from the Spanish or the jalapenos, right? That's going to all go in right here. I'm going to stir that around nicely just to blend it in. And y'all, I have my coon already done. I refer to it as my coon lovingly. So here it is. It goes right into the pot like this. It's already, I didn't cook it all the way because I want to make sure it still has some cooking time to it. And then with this, you're getting a good shot of that. Look how that looks nice. Let me grab that up for you. Look how beautiful that is right there. Isn't that nice? A lot of good color. Absolutely. I'm glad to see y'all paying attention. Now a little coon stock, very important. You got to have your, this is actually a beef stock. You could, but if you prefer coon stock, go ahead. You have the bones. You have the bones there. I'm going to go ahead and put just enough of the stock in here to create a really nice sauce piquante. It's going to be, I want it to stick to rice or stick to pasta. And that raccoon, did you ever trap for raccoon or just
Just otters, but I've caught some raccoon already.
Good eating.
Oh, yeah.
Good eating.
Oh, yeah. Depends how hungry you are.
Yeah, depending on
C'est la vérité, c'est la vérité.
What do you mean? Depends on how hungry you are. I see.
Yeah, that's true.
When this is done, look at here. I want everybody to get a good shot of this. Look, this is that coon gumbo. You're all going to enjoy it. It's good coon sauce piquante. You're all going to love it. It's going to be ready for you in just a second. There's the over rice, of course. I'm going to put that down. Now, y'all, just a couple of weeks ago, I was able to go to this guy's house right here, Conrad Cathey, and he showed us how to deep-fry rattlesnake on beautiful Toledo Bend. Y'all take a watch on. Look at those screens and see how beautiful this is. Y'all, I tell you, you're not going to believe it. We're standing right here at Wildwood Resort on beautiful Toledo Bend, the heart of Toledo Bend, 70 miles south, I guess, of Freeport, right near Manny, Louisiana, the Spanish side of Louisiana on the Sabine River. And I have my good buddy here, the rattlesnake guy, Conrad Cathey. Thank you so much for having us here at Wildwood to do a little rattlesnake. Now, beautiful Toledo Bend, where it's known for the lunkers, the biggest bass you can possibly have and let go, and rattlesnake, right?
That's correct.
Now how did you get into, is rattlesnake a seafood or a meat?
Oh, rattlesnake is a delicacy meat. It's really something different.
But the flavor of it, how would you describe it?
Oh, it's so different from any other specialty items that I could discuss. I mean, it's just a real special meat.
Now let's talk about it real fast, how to do it. The meat, y'all, is just incredible. Look how beautiful this is. Now, you kidding me that this is a tenderloin or what? Are you
no, this is actually the back strap.
Okay, the back strap.
I mean, just like a deer, come out of a deer or whatever, or a beef or a pork, and then. Now let me show you. Now this one right here is the tenderloin.
Look at the size of the tenderloin.
That'd be just like a filet mignon.
I got it. We're going into the water with it. Now we have to marinate it. We have salt. Now this is going in for 48 hours, right?
48 hours.
A little Creole seasoning, a little pepper, a little granulated garlic. It sits there, and I want y'all to take a look at this. This is after 48 hours. You have to take the meat now and dry it.
This is the backstrap.
Yep, there. And look, now we have to dry it really good before frying it, right?
Right.
So now you showed me how to do that. The oil's at 350, the dried meat, and I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit in here and dust it around and put it right into the fryer for deep frying. And then we have to make the sauce, right?
That's
so
correct.
I'm going to put this in. Now, how long does it take to fry?
About 3 to 5 minutes.
So not that long?
No.
So it floats when it's done? Does it float up to the top?
Yes.
So you can, it's going to be good and hot. But let's talk about you stir this around. This is what we serve it with. A little mayonnaise, lime juice. This is chipotle peppers. Y'all, we're just using a can of chipotle with the adobo sauce. I'm going to put a little bit of that into the mayonnaise base right there. I'm going to drop it right in. The sauce from the adobo pepper, which you can get in your local grocery store. Cilantro goes in. A little pepper, a little salt, a little granulated garlic, and we're going to stir that all around.
Oh, that'd be yummy good.
Woo. Now, the rattlesnake is nice and mild. It's tender. It's juicy. The adobo sauce has flavored the mayonnaise. The rattlesnake, just a couple of minutes. It'll float right up to the top. It's beautiful. Oh, you tasting it already? You go ahead. Y'all, and this is exactly what it looks like when it's done right here. Just absolutely beautiful. try a little rattlesnake and make sure you come and see Wildwood Resort right here on gorgeous Toledo Bend. Thank you so much, Conrad. I'm glad somebody brought you a snake one day.
John, shake, rattle, and roll.
All night long. Do-do-ba-do-da-do-ba-do-da-do, baby.
All right, there it is. Y'all have Conrad Cathey I mentioned a minute ago. Show them that, huh? Here, y'all got it right here. Okay, there you go. Now, while y'all eating that, I'm so excited that y'all got through the coon because now my favorite dish, Nutria. This is the one I serve on major holidays, right here. Sunday coon, major holiday is Nutria. Now let's talk about Nutria because Tab Pitre, his father, was one of the greatest trappers, and he, of course, deals in wholesale furs, and you bring in a lot of furs from trappers, and then you, in turn those furs over to some of the manufacturers who do further processing of furs. Is that...
Yes, sir. We process.
No, not sir. John.
John. We process.
Talk to Mr. Petrie, sir. I mean Mr. Sevin, sir.
My father was in this business for, I think, almost 50, a little over 50 years. And I kind of stayed in his footsteps, and we process about 50 to 100,000 a year. And we ship them to Argentina, China, and they build coats and...
Yeah. That was a beautiful coat I brought out. What was that? That was all Nutria?
That was all Nutria.
Now, Nutria, when we think of furs today, people are a little bit skeptical about furs. I'm going to talking about Nutria first. Y'all, I want you to look at I'm coming right back to you. I want you to take a look at this white meat of Nutria. It's almost like rabbit, actually. Almost like rabbit. Sometimes you get a little darker red. I'm going to put a little salt on it here, a little bit cracked pepper. Some garlic naturally will go onto it as well, and then some spices. I also have some I like to put a little basil, a little thyme, even a little sage on this meat is really nice. I'm going to put it right down into my roux. Now, this is a lighter brown roux. It's got I had the real dark brown roux a while ago for the coon, and this is a lighter brown because it's more of a fricassee, and I like to have a lighter roux with a lighter meat. That's why I'm doing it this way. I'm going to go in with the Nutria and stir it around in the roux just to cook it up a little bit and coat the Nutria in the roux while it starts to sear it a little bit. So I'm sorry. So you were saying, Tab, about the number of furs that y'all have, but I was mentioning that the habitat of Louisiana is really being protected by our trappers because they're going out and tell us a little bit about that.
A long time ago, they had like almost 2 million furs that was caught, and then the old people just got out of it. They couldn't do it anymore. So the young kids today don't want to do it. Right. It's too hard. The work's too hard. Right. So today they got that bounty, so they're bringing in like 150 to 200,000 tails.
So they're just basically paying for the tails, and the furs are going into the garment industry, and that's really, that's fantastic. Y'all, into the pot, I'll put onion, celery, bell pepper, garlic, because I'm doing that wonderful fricassee here with the lighter roux. And now I'm going to do the same thing I did a while ago. This would, of course, cook, for about another 30, 40 minutes on a slow heat, just kind of be really nice, picking up that flavor of the roux. I'm going to use the same stock I used a while ago. This is just a good beef stock. You can use a chicken stock or whatever into it. And just go ahead and add it in. You want to put in enough stock to make a nice gravy for this, because this is going to go, again, over rice or over pasta, one of these nice hearty dishes. Louisiana loves rice. So to be able to cook dishes that have, in fact, the ability to be served over rice is really, really great. Y'all, a great group of people right here in the kitchen today. Mr. Lee Roy Sevin, one of the great trappers. Tab, thank you so much for bringing the furs in. My good buddy Andrew Capone, always handling the rattlesnake. And Conrad, thanks for supplying me the meat. Huh? Thank you all so much for joining us in the swamps of Louisiana. And remember, man's love affair with hunting is never about the kill or the skill. It's all about the fabulous feast after the hunt. See you next time right here on the Taste of Louisiana. We're going to eat Nutria. Huh? All right, hey, right there, Mr. Finn. You're a good man, huh? Yep. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
To purchase the After the Hunt cookbook by Chef John Folse, an After the Hunt t-shirt, or program DVD, call the number on your screen. Funding for After the Hunt with Chef John Folse is brought to you by the Baton Rouge Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. Day is dawning on the Mississippi River and the sun is shining on Baton Rouge. Attractions, shopping, food, and Southern hospitality you know and love. Go BR and go brighter. And the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting. Our mission is to tell Louisiana's story to the world. And by the Louisiana Department of Culture, Recreation, and Tourism. Vacation planning guides are available at louisianatravel.com. You wait all year for your vacation. Don't sleep through it.